Okay, this is Orange County elections. The person does not want to be seen on camera, so I'm not going to take her picture. But I'm not pointing it at you.
Right, can I understand what's typically
okay,
media requests?
well, I brought my ballot in today to be verified, as always happens. They usually verify it immediately on the computer and put it in the verified box so I know it will be counted. They said they cannot do that today because you have changed your procedure. Now, I've in the past been an observer with vote counting of absentee ballots, and I know that when they count them, you know, even the first count after the fact, they have the registration there which has a political affiliation on it, and they judge it against that when they're counting it. So the person may think that their vote is counted, it may not be. I've seen in the past where ballots that look like an exact match were thrown out and ballots that look completely different were not thrown out, and to me it looked like it was political affiliation related. And so I want to know how I can make sure my vote is counted.
Okay.
When he did say it was a match.
Okay.
But he said that doesn't mean that they will count it. So that is a problem.
Okay.
He said if he were the one counting it, he would count it, but he can't verify that whoever does count it will count it.
Okay, so it looks like we need to do a little more deeper research to understand the situation.
Okay, it used to be that a lot of us who would want to make sure our votes were counted would bring it to the register, have them verified our ballots, and put it into a box showing that it had been verified. And they are not doing that this year. In fact, he said he cannot, you know, guarantee that even though it's a match, as far as he can tell, that it will be verified and counted. Now, I want to know why you have changed the procedure, because voters should be able to know right now when they deliver their vote whether their vote's going to be counted.
Right. So.
And what is the procedure?
So the procedure for verifying signatures, for verifying.
Well, no. He told us a little bit about the signatures. He said later on they'll verify it after the fact. You know, after the, you know, I guess after election day. And
we're verifying signatures right now.
Okay, well, how can I make sure mine is verified?
Well, you can check online. So
when?
Right now. So you can go to ocvote.com/verify.
I just turned in like 5 minutes ago.
Not yet then. We have to process it and then it'll go in. Are you going around? Yeah. Go around this way, please. Okay. Thank you.
So if I come back on election day, I can check here to see if it's been counted?
Do it before. So I would give it a couple of days to go through the system because we're getting thousands and thousands of ballots each day. We have to scan them, we have to compare the signature, and then after we compare the signature, you can see on your record whether or not there's an issue with it or if it's been counted.
The trouble is a lot of people are not going to be going online.
So in addition to that, we also send a letter to every voter that there is an issue. So they have a chance to receive it and return the letter in case there is an issue. Okay, but some people don't get all their mail, so there's a problem with that too. There have been years when I haven't gotten my voters' information in the mail when I should have. So we will do our different attempts to try to reach the voter. So we do make different attempts to reach the voter.
Why are they making it so much harder this year? Why can't they just verify it on the spot and put it in the ballot box?
Well, there's multiple processes to have to go in place, and there's a large amount that are coming in.
But here you have, you know, not that many people are walking them in, and they could easily say, well, this is the right person, and put in the box.
Well, we pick up from 116 ballot drop boxes every day, so that is literally thousands and thousands coming back in.
Well, when they do it after the fact, I do know from having, you know, been an observer before, that you match it against the registration signature, which has the political affiliation on it.
And so when we look at the actual signature, we're just looking at the signature checking. We're looking at the image, so it could come actually from the DMV as well if the voter allows it. So it could be different registration signatures or from the DMV itself. Okay, you're not using the registration signature then? It depends if the voter wants the DMV signature to be transferred over or not. Okay, because most people probably don't. When I have observed in the past, they were looking against the whole registration, which included political affiliation and so forth. So I'm not I handle media. Yeah. I'm not on the side that handles signature checking, so I can't speak. I would have to go back and look and see what they look at. But the one time I observed, you know, although in the particular county it did not change the overall election, I noticed a difference in the acceptance of
near signatures or close signatures versus way different signatures, depending, that seem to be related to political affiliation. Like in that case, it was like a race for, you know, one of the state offices. And what I noticed is that on one political party, a signature that might have had an I not dotted or a T not crossed, if they belonged to the wrong party, their ballots would be thrown in the trash even though it looked right. And then I saw cases where a guy would sign for a woman's ballot, I mean it's an obvious male name, on the other party, and it would be accepted. And that didn't make any sense to me, which is why a lot of people want to verify that the correct ones come.
Of course, so that's why, again, when we train people to check for signatures, they're not looking at party, they're looking at, does the signature have things that match with the other signatures?
So they've changed that procedure since I observed
I
it.
don't know when you came to observe last.
2010.
So I wasn't here then.
Okay.
So unfortunately I can't speak to that. But that's not something that we train to, is to look for
Yeah.
party or whatnot. It's based on the signature only, and even if it doesn't match or there's a missing signature, we still notify the voter for them to be able to cure any issues that may come up.
Okay. Now I know someone who came in here with his ballot, and he wasn't an old person, but you know, he changed his signature some. He would scribble it a bit, and he signed it 3 times, did not match, yeah, according to them.
Signed it 3
And
times on the same.
yeah, I mean, he had ID and everything. So they made him fill out a brand new registration form. And, you know, he had a lot of trouble getting his ballot counted, even though he was the right person.
Well, we err on trying to make sure, going through the extra layers after review to make sure it really is that voter. So even though it may be additional steps, we want to do the right thing by the voter, which is going through those additional steps to do that verification.
Yeah. Would it be easier if you had a question, if you simply had them verify that they were the person when they come in and say, well, it matches, well, you know, it's a way mismatch. Are you sure you're that person? Do you have like anything to show you that person? I mean, wouldn't that be simpler?
That's something we can take back to the team, but again, I think there are some things that are state regulations that we have to follow by, and I think that might be one of them.
Okay.
So I can take it back, but at the same time, I know we're bound by certain states' laws that come down from us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Question on the DMV signature. I've got a new license coming, and so they took a signature right when I was getting the photo, and they were using that electronic scan thing. And it was like, you know, it's like, you got to be kidding me. I mean,
That's a good point. A lot of
it
people.
was like, are you kidding me? I got this scrawly thing for a signature on the glass, and it's like, I said, oh, can I do that again? He said, it's too late, already done.
A lot of DMV signatures are not the person's normal signature.
That's not going to match anything.
It's up to the voter. So when you're at the DMV, you can opt in to change. So it's up to the voter to be able to say which one do they want to use.
But you can't opt in after the fact when you're voting.
Well, I don't know. Did that signature at the picture booth over here at the Santa Ana DMV? Did that go only onto my driver's license, or did that go onto if someone was doing the voter registration?
I think do you
Or is it
recall
a
if you
separate?
checked
Or is
in?
that a separate issue?
Do you recall if you opted in?
No, I opted out.
Okay, so then we don't have your DMV.
Yeah,
signature.
but there might be others like
But
him, and I
what
think
I'm
that's his
wondering is
point.
People who opt in.
They do, but then
Where
we-
does
Well,
the signature come?
one year
If it
they-
came from that, if it came from the photo booth.
One year they did
Yeah,
opt me
yeah.
in, even though I didn't want opted in, and I actually had to fill out a new form here.
So that's an issue with the DMV. But we do maintain all voter registration signatures from the past too. So even if we say, oh, that doesn't look like it, we can still look at 5 years, 10 years, 20 years before and see if we see that matching still.
Okay.
So that's still an opportunity. That's one of the benefits we have from having that database, is we can look back
So,
historically.
so you're saying you've improved your verification procedure, except that the voter can't have it verified on the same day, which is different than it's always been in the past.
Well, I think it's because of the volume. think.
I mean, even in the primary here this year, I had my signature verified on the election day, and yet I can't do it in the general election.
Yeah, so I think that's completely, a different department, the process, and I don't, I handle the media.
Yeah.
So, I can only speak to the
Right.
bit of my knowledge, so I don't want to share anything that I can't stand behind. So I think that's
So then, for more accurate information on the process, who would we come back to talk to?
So let me give you my business card and you can send me the questions and I'll follow up internally. I think I have 2 business cards.
Even though you can't be on camera, your name is Jackie Wu,
Yes,
and you are you're the community outreach manager.
that's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate the time you've given me on this.
Of course, happy to help, and in the future, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try to see who we can get in the right department to get you the answers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you, Tim.